What's up guys, T here, and for today's tip I wanted to cover something a subscriber mentioned to me and I feel a lot of Hearts of Iron 4 players don't fully understand, and that is battle plans and division preparation. So in this video we will talk through that and what all the annoying little indicators mean when you are planning an attack, and as a bonus I would like to cover some combat strategies I use when drawing my own battle plans and when defending. So the first thing that everybody knows is you're going to draw your offensive lines, and I've got two drawn here. But what I'd like to then focus on is the plan value estimators, and a lot of people get hung up on these because they see these red percentage numbers down at the bottom, and all that's doing is basically this is the AI's cheap calculation on whether or not you should attack. So if the estimate plan value is positive, green, okay, go ahead and attack. If it's red, it says nah, probably not a good idea to attack. And the things that go into this is you can see there's air superiority, if the enemy is inferior, a large river crossing is not a good idea to cross a river, you lose attack values when crossing rivers, whatever, that kind of thing. But the thing that people get hung up on is they don't understand is division still preparing, and what that is when you open your army here is each individual division has a preparing bar. So when this is totally filled, like this one here, you're going to have your percentage and it's going to be your max, and that percentage is indicating what kind of attack buff that division is going to have when it goes on the offensive. So at maximum 50% right now, that division is going to be 50% stronger than it normally would be if it didn't have that bonus, the planning bonus. So what this is telling you, the division still preparing, is that some of your divisions aren't prepared. And that's just saying, oh, well, we could be better, but so we probably shouldn't attack because we could be better. But sometimes, for example, this one's not prepared because the area is overflowing with troops, so they're actually just sitting over here. So we'll be waiting forever for those to prepare, because the only way your divisions prepare is if they are on the front line, not moving, not attacking, and you have an offensive line drawn for them. So those three things have to be in effect. If they're moving, attacking, the buff that they have acquired will be decaying. So like if I move them back over here, that buff will start decaying, and then if you hover back over it, what you can see is there's, you know, your base gain. Every day you gain X amount of percentage, and it's just additive, you just add it up, and then different things can affect it. A really cool thing to note is that this is actually where the Sigma company comes into play. As you can see here at the bottom of the daily base gain, the initiative factor, that's the initiative that you get from adding Signal Company to you and to your divisions, and that's going to actually help this preparation gain more quickly. That's what it's there for. So that's kind of the ins and outs of preparation. It's just when you have it fully prepared, you're going to get whatever percentage attack bonus when you go to attack. So now basically what I want to share with you is basically why I drew the lines I did, and really the strategy, and this is not groundbreaking or shattering or anything like that, is you're going to want to encircle the enemy, because when you encircle the enemy, what you can do is cut them off from supply, making them one, easier to defeat, and then you can actually capture and obliterate those divisions. So that's going to be your main goal. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my heavy tanks to move across and encircle these enemies from above while my infantry pushes down, and then we'll just pincer them from the north and the south and take them out, as well as securing China's capital right here. So something really cool to note before we get started here is that if you ever hover over your attack arrow, it'll actually show you what the AI's plan of capturing enemy territories is. So as you see that red move across, that's what they're attacking, and the green is now your newly captured territory as the AI executes its battle plans. And you can see it for both. So they're going to come down from the north. So basically, let's get this rolling. Now, as your breakthrough starts to elongate, what you really need to do is micromanage your armor spearhead front, because for it to be a spearhead, they need to be up at the tip of the spear. So since you have your infantry already defending the front, so as you can see they moved in to defend, what you're going to want to do is, I've already let it go too far, but that was just for demonstration's sake, is pull this front line that they have up with them as they move into enemy territory, in order to make sure all of your tanks stay up towards the front line. Because as you can see, a lot of my tanks are lingering back towards the rear, basically doing a defender's job, and that's not what I want them doing. I want them up towards the front, pushing, taking new territory. So now that we've successfully cut them in two and we are able to encircle them, what I'm going to do is set up the spearhead to start moving north. and then also engage my infantry from the north to start moving south in a pincer movement in order to wipe them out and completely capture the area. So now again, since the infantry is moving in to defend, what I'm going to do is completely delete this southern front and enlarge this so we have more room to move, and as well make sure all of my guys are assigned to it. Control, click, and now they're all assigned as you saw the 23 pop up, and then I'm going to draw the new offensive line. So now we're going to work to converge on them from the north and the south. And what you'll notice is separate pockets will pop up as you go, so that's another part of the micromanaging. Is what you can do then is if you control right click, you'll select those units, you can do an offensive line. And just hit engage again, and it'll engage that second line. And you can see it's really just all crashing down on this segmented area over here. And once in a while, right away. Here it appears. And just like that, you can pretty much wipe out an entire area. Now I'm setting up for my second offensive, and what I've done is I have 1, 2, 3 sections of my attack infantry set up to push forward, and then I'm going to split my armor into 2 sections on 2 separate parts of the front line. And how you do that is you go and draw one section of the front line right here with all the divisions attached. You just go ahead and draw a second front line right here. And then you take the army, excuse me, and you can split it in half right here, and then just control click, and it'll assign half those divisions to that second area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw these lines, and then I'll explain a little bit. So what I have set up here is a variety of encirclements set up through 5 different armies. And so the plan here is the basic encirclement is using infantry in the center, infantry to defend, which is what my white line is, and that's just encircling the entire area. And then using your armor split from each side to come and pincer around, and then you're going to create this encirclement pocket in here and then have the infantry drive on them, and that's just going to basically wipe out that section in here. Over here what I have going is I have them pushing down over here, connecting to this front over here, which is being defended by this defense infantry, and that's going to encircle all of these guys trapped up on this peninsula of their front. Down here I have some more infantry driving through, and it's going to actually split the country in half from north to south, as well as it's going to create pockets of encirclement coming down from the pressure from the north and also from the pressure from the northwest. So I'm expecting to see some pockets of encirclement right in here, and then with these infantry just pushing a solid front down this way, what we're going to see is once this comes down, this comes across, and this comes down, we're going to see another pocket over here. So that's going to effectively split their troops, encircle their troops, destroy their troops, and then all I'm going to have left lingering is this little encircled peninsula up here, this down here, and then just be able to drive south from there. So I'm going to activate red, blue, green, and orange, but leave purple for after the encirclement actually happens, and then let them drive on them from there. Now unfortunately guys, we may not get to see this play out fully because China capitulated, but you can kind of get the picture from what's still around as these guys are moving down. Here comes one spearhead already made it down here, and then pink would have cleaned up this gap in the middle. Also you see this coming down, this is still their territory, this is going to connect, then you're going to be able to clean up here. This is coming across here with the orange, then you're going to have this separate gap, and then we would have had this gap down here. But like I said, China capitulated, so what I'm going to do is just take all of their states because I'm the only one fighting them, and now you can see that those are the new front lines. Then there's still going to be some enemy resistance here. So with that being said, my last tip is basically going to be how to defend against this armor push through your territory. And what you're going to want to do is let that armored spearhead come through, and you're going to see it coming, and then once they start to extend and push through the territory, like say this is a hypothetical push they made into my territory, is if you're going to want to have the means around this region towards the beginning of the push, and then cut it, and then stick a bunch of infantry or whatever your best defensive troops are right in there so they cannot reconnect it. And what's going to happen is those guys that are now cut off, just like when you encircle, it's easy to capture them. You've basically just made them encircle themselves, so then they're going to not be able to get supply and the organization is going to drop, and then you're just going to be able to walk all over their offensive, and that's going to be a huge blow, basically setting you up for a proper counterattack. Alright guys, that does it for my battle plans and preparation tutorial. If you enjoyed this or if it helped you, please leave a like, it means a lot to me. If you're new to my channel, I got lots of helpful Hearts of Iron 4 stuff as well as some other cool content on there, so be sure to check that out, and if you enjoy it, please subscribe. I'm making new content all the time. If you have any questions for me guys about anything, I'm always happy to answer them and interact with you guys, so leave that in the comment section below. And as always guys, thanks for watching.